Hello and welcome back to the GDPR and Data Protection Diaries. In this video we're going to be talking about ransomware. There has been a lot of activity in the news lately involving organisations that have been attacked by ransomware, so I think it's important that we start to talk about it and people can understand it more. We're going to cover what ransomware is, what it means to an organisation, so what impact it has on an organisation, and more importantly, what you can do and what your organisation can do to both protect itself from ransomware, but also how to recover from a ransomware attack and how to prepare to recover from a ransomware attack. As always, if you find this video useful, if you find the content interesting, please do give us a like, give us a comment, give us a share. You'll find the subscribe link somewhere, probably down in the bottom left-hand corner. And if you have any questions, you'll catch our website running across the bottom of the page. So please do get in touch. So what is ransomware? Well, ransomware is an attack method used by third parties, used by hackers, used by criminal organisations, and it's a way of disabling an organisation by injecting malicious code or a virus into a company or an organisation's systems or networks. And essentially what it does is it locks down all of the information, all of the systems, and closes down, takes control of all of the network and infrastructure within that organisation, very often by placing encryption layers over things so that information cannot be accessed, information cannot be used, processes can't be carried out, CRMs can't be used, and tools can't be used, so that the organisation cannot function. Once this has been done and once the attack has been successful, the attacker will essentially issue a ransom to the organisation and say, if you want to gain access to your systems, if you want to be able to operate your organisation again, then you need to pay us money, and we will then give you the key to unlock the software and you will be able to continue on with your day. If you don't pay us that money, then quite simply we are not going to give you the key and you're not going to be able to access your systems. It's the digital equivalent of somebody coming round your house when you're out, letting themselves into your house, changing the door locks, and then holding you ransom for the key, for saying, we'll give you the key if you pay us £10,000. Why is this popular, and why is it an attack that is becoming more frequent and we're seeing in the news more often? Well, as we've seen, there has already been an attack on Travelex, been an attack on Canon Bikes. There's also been an attack on Maastricht University recently as well. The reason this is a popular attack for hackers, for third parties, is that it's relatively easy to execute. It doesn't really take them a great deal of effort in terms of ongoing management. Normally, if somebody wants to hack an organisation, they want to extract money from them, they want to extract transactional information, they have to find a way into the organisation, they have to embed themselves, spend time looking around, find information that's interesting, find access to credit card records, or latch onto payment systems and then start to collect credit card information, credit card details over a period of time, and then sell that information on. By carrying out a ransomware attack, you create an immediate issue for the organisation that you're attacking, and you create the immediate requirement for them to want to release their information so that they can carry on. So it's actually a very effective and a very time-effective attack for somebody to carry out. And this is why we're starting to see it happening more often and more regularly. If we look at the instance with Travelex, every single day that Travelex is down or their website is unavailable, they are losing hundreds of thousands of pounds. They are unable to carry out financial transactions, so they have an instant monetary loss. They also have a reputational loss because the brand is being damaged by people not being able to gain access to the brand, and people are being uncertain about how their data is being secured. So in those instances, it's very easy for an organization to just turn around and say, you know what, we will pay your ransom, we will pay you the Bitcoin. Please just let our systems go because we are unable to operate and we're going to lose more money by not operating than we are going to lose money by paying you the ransom. And that's why ransomware is becoming a really effective and quite a popular attack method. It's widely believed that most ransomware attacks, or certainly a lot of ransomware attacks, start with a phishing email, so an email that has been sent to an organization or an individual within an organization purporting to be from a trusted individual, be it a member of the company or a trusted supplier or a third party, that encourages the individual to click on a link or open an attachment. When that attachment or that link is opened, it then allows the software or the malware to be placed either onto the individual's computer or directly onto the network, and that's then how the malware spreads and infects itself throughout the network, eventually encrypting and essentially crippling the organization. You can look to protect yourself from these kinds of attacks by, first of all, making sure that you've got appropriate malware detection on your email servers and on your laptops and on your devices and on your networks. Make sure that if you do have effective malware, that you are patching, you are carrying out the updates, and you're doing that across all of your systems and across all of your standalone devices as well. The other way that you can protect yourself from phishing attacks is by making sure that people are trained to spot what a phishing email looks like. Phishing has got a lot more sophisticated over the years, so it's no longer full of spelling mistakes, it's no longer particularly clear, and very often it can look like a very official email. The best approach to take is that if it feels a little bit out of the ordinary, it feels a little bit dodgy, then don't open it. Don't click on it, speak to your IT team or quarantine the email and just don't forward it on, don't do anything with it, and obviously don't click on the links. But making sure that your employees and your teams are trained to understand that and trained to look out for things that might be a little bit out of the ordinary is one way of protecting your organization, in addition to having effective malware protection. Another way to protect your organization is to be more proactive and look at your systems, your technologies, your networks. Look at where your organization, your network is public facing, so where you are using APIs, where you're using a website that connects through to your system, either for e-commerce or for account management, and carry out what we call pen testing. So using software, using an organization like ourselves, using specialist testers to navigate through those systems, navigate those controls, and see where they may be able to find entry points that a third party would be able to use to exploit, to inject a virus or inject malware onto your organization's network or through onto a specific PC or a specific device. This is especially prevalent if you are dealing in IoT, so you're dealing in devices that are connected to the internet that aren't necessarily used by an individual on a regular basis, but do have regular interaction with the outside world. So having regular pen testing can also help to protect you and protect your organization from those kinds of attacks. Possibly more importantly, and while prevention is always better than a cure, it's good for organizations to start to look at this as being a real potential threat. As we're saying, it is becoming more prevalent. What's being reported in the news certainly doesn't reflect what we see as being reported out in the background and out in the industry in terms of the number of organizations that are suffering these attacks. Most companies will pay the ransom just because they want to have their organization back, but there are other ways to protect yourself by having appropriate backups of all of your systems, so making sure that all of your network, your key systems are backed up in a separate location, so on a separate network, and that's the most important thing, not having it backed up on the same network, because if the network becomes compromised, then everything is encrypted, including your backup. Having appropriate backups can allow you to restore your systems, restore your networks, so that you can get working and get back to doing business while the rest of the network is down. And that's what we saw with the WannaCry virus when that attacked the NHS, that a number of NHS trusts were using virtual backups through organisations such as VMware, and that allowed them to bring their systems back online immediately by rolling it back to the point where before the attack happened, and essentially as far as the network was concerned, the attack therefore never happened and they were able to carry on. Of course, you can pay the ransom, and that is what a lot of people do because it is quicker, it's easier. Downtime is downtime. If you're running a £52 million a year business and you're offline for a week, you've lost £1 million. If somebody's going to charge you £50,000 in Bitcoin to get back online, that's your choice. That's very, very often the option that people take. You can also look at having effective cyber insurance. So there are companies out there such as Gallagher's who offer a very comprehensive cyber insurance package, excuse me, which does cover paying ransomware requests and does cover paying off those kind of activities, so that while your organisation is still settling for the ransom, it doesn't necessarily have to hit your back pocket. So there are things that you can do to be prepared, and we would suggest that you start to think about those things if being an operating business, if you have an e-commerce site, if being functional on a day-to-day basis is important to you, then these are the sorts of things that you should be starting to think about. As always, this is a very, very high overview. I hope it gives you some insight into what ransomware really means and what you can do to start protecting your organisation. Obviously, if you have any questions or you'd like to know more about how iStorm as an organisation can help protect you and help plan for protection from a ransomware attack, please do get in touch. And as always, you'll see the website across the bottom of the page. If you have any questions, comment down below. If you do enjoy this content, please make sure you like, subscribe and hit the subscribe button. I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thanks very much.